What's up, everybody? We are in Argo, Alabama, out here with Brandon Bowen, and today we are going to talk about building, home building. Brandon's out here with his company, and he is building a brand new subdivision in Argo, Alabama, just outside of Trussville on the northeast side of Birmingham. And he has already got many houses done, and he's working on many more. Got a lot sold. We're going to talk to a home builder today and figure out how he got started, how he got doing it, and how you could possibly do the same thing. So here we go, Brandon. We're going to walk and talk a little bit as we come up here and look at some of these houses that he's building. Brandon, how in the world did you get started building houses?
Well, through lots of thoughtful prayer, and it was definitely not a quick decision. Started out as a project manager in construction for other companies, and flipped a couple hundred houses around Birmingham area years ago, and then eventually started flipping on my own, and got a little tougher to find houses that we wanted to flip, so got interested in looking for land and found 54 acres out in Argo and developed it into what we now call Grant Crossing. And so it's a 56 home site. We're still early in phase one right now, but we're excited about the future. We have a lot of great amenities, and it's definitely my first development. So not only building houses, but developing the property as well from just raw pasture land. So it's been an amazing and challenging experience altogether.
So I've known you for I guess, many years now, going back obviously before COVID, before this all started.
Yeah.
And I think, your background, you said you were a project manager,
Yeah.
but you had never been a home builder before.
No, absolutely
And
not.
so I'm sure when you're getting started, there are a lot of challenges, a lot of brand new things that are going on that you just had maybe heard about, maybe didn't know quite about, maybe knew about, but didn't know how extensive it might be. So maybe just take me through a challenge or two that you've had when it comes to actually, because you're sitting here talking about you're getting the land, you have to find the land, you have to even take me before that, because it all starts with you got to have a plan to even build the houses. I know you've got an investor as well that's helping you.
Yes.
So why don't we just start the very, very origins of this thing? How did it even kind of get started? Was it an idea and you had to go look for land? How did you get started with it?
Yeah, I would say it started with with the idea. We wanted something. I wanted something that had larger lot sizes, and just a strong community feel, not just houses. So I think that's led us to getting a lot of buyers that this is their forever home. And that really excites me. I've always loved architecture and design from the time I was a kid. Used to draw blueprints in 5th grade, so I thought I wanted to be an architect. And so I'm glad I ended up where I am. But
So how does it start? It starts as an idea?
Yeah. For me, it started as an idea, sort of a dream, if you will. And I almost gave up on it because I struggled to find land that would fit what we really wanted to do. But once we found the land, I began just digging in, educating myself on everything I could from the development, reaching out to utility companies. We have a railroad crossing here to deal with. And so had to kind of navigate a lot of that, learned a lot about dealing with the railroad. We brought utilities all the way from Highway 11 and across the train tracks into the development. So that was a very unique challenge. Starts as an idea for me, and then really just a lot of nights thinking about what it is that I wanted, and I literally just sketched out these lots the way I envisioned them, and they've pretty much turned out the way that original sketch started out.
So which way are we walking?
Yeah, right here.
Okay. All right, we're gonna come up here. And
this
check
is
out
lot 6. So we build custom and semi-custom homes here, kind of a mixture. But we work closely with our interior designer and our office staff to get what it is that the client wants. And you'll see some of that in this home from just specialty items in the home that make it very much custom to that buyer.
Gotcha. Well, Brandon, what I want to know is, so you've got an idea, but I think a lot of folks in real estate, they find the real estate first, and then they're like, okay, we got the land, or we've got the property, or whatever it is, and now let's see what we can do with the land. Let's see what we can do with the property. You had an idea first, and you had to kind of seek out the property. Is that kind of how it went?
That is correct.
So yeah. How'd you go about finding this particular land? Because it's how many acres?
54.
54 acres. How'd you go about finding this particular land, and how did you know that it would be right for your vision?
Yeah, just through talking with realtors, finding spots of land that we had thought had potential. A lot of what we find in this area is too many hills, and a lot of dirt work would be required. This one has some of that, but yeah, the first day we came out here, we drove through the woods, drove around the property. This actually has some old history to the land. We have all the land deed paperwork dating back to 1821, so that really added to the excitement of being able to develop it into something. And we've continued to carry some of those names. So every house on the project is named after a previous owner. So we have owners dating back to 1821, and so yeah, it definitely started with the idea first, and then trying to find the land and work through realtors. Almost gave up on it because just was so tough. And then my wife sent me this piece of property one afternoon. We went and visited the same day, and started working through due diligence to see how everything would lay out.
And also, you've got to have, the money piece to it as well. Mm-hmm. So you've got an idea. You need funding. You need to fund the thing, and then you need to find the property, and then you got to kind of go through it, the due diligence and things like that. So where did the funding? When in the process was that, and how were you able to secure the funding for such a large development with these expensive homes?
Yeah. So my largest private investor, he was flipping houses with me, just mainly paying the bills and providing all of that. And I talked to him about the idea. He was open to it. And so then I just had to put numbers together, a pro forma, if you will, to kind of describe how I saw this all playing out. And yeah, it was sorry, I got distracted for a minute.
You're good.
But yeah, put the pro forma together, and he said, yeah, I'll invest in you and invest in the project. And we've continued to work on that pro forma to adjust and see where we go. We ended up, these homes are priced much higher than what we had initially put on our pro forma. But we're in the 600 or so on most of these houses. Some are a little upwards of that. And we had originally intended on being much lower than that. Mm-hmm. And I know there's a need for affordable housing right now. But yeah, we love what we're doing, very proud of it, and end up, like I said, with a lot of forever home buyers. So
yeah, so you're talking about the $600,000 price range here in Argo, and how do you even determine, like when you're initially kind of going through, we've got the investor, we got the money, we're finding the land, we want to try to figure out how to price it, how many homes to put on the land, and how to price it. How did you come up with that number?
Really similar to the way I did with house flips when I was doing those on my own. Just tried to project an ARV. And again, that's many times how I flipped houses. What I would project an ARV very conservatively, and then improve the property, which in this case was land, and improve the houses to the level that I felt like I was proud of, and then see what the market says about that. So this is a certain amount of this is what I was talking about earlier with the customization. So customer wants to add on a golf cart space, no big deal. But then they love their dogs, so we actually have a dog wash station right here. Some of you probably seen some of those online, but we're excited to see how that comes together. It'll be tile with a mud bed and shower pan, just like you would have in your bathroom. So, but for the dogs. So we're excited about that one.
Well, never heard of that before. So we kicked the workers out so we could do this interview.
Yeah.
Let's kind of set up right here, and then we'll go do a little bit of a tour of this one as it's coming in. So I want to really continue on with the process. So we've got our money, we've found the land. Now we got to do our due diligence. And you correct me, you jump in where you feel like I'm missing something. We got to do our due diligence. What kind of due diligence when we're looking at the land? What kind of due diligence are we looking at?
Well, step one for us was finding out if water could even be serviced to this area. And there were some challenges originally. We were told it would not be able to be provided because of the elevation of the land. And then said a prayer and followed up with Trustful Gas and Water, our engineer there, and determined he was able to double check it and said no, in fact, they could actually supply. And so that was step one, was just utilities really. And doing our due diligence was making sure that we could extend water, gas, power, and we have Spectrum internet. So that was a big piece of it. And then the railroad was part of our due diligence, which is a little bit unique to this property. So
yeah, but that's not unique to the area though, because I've lived in Trussville for almost 20 years, and that railroad runs alongside Highway 11. From Trussville all the way, Springville, probably beyond.
Yeah, it goes to Chattanooga at least, I know.
So all the way along Highway 11. So what's really common out here is for folks to turn off of Highway 11, go over those railroad tracks, and then there are a lot of communities up and down Highway 11 that have been built back up on the other side of the railroad. So that's pretty common for this area. So you just needed to see if all the utilities would be able to run through there. Where are we going? Are we going to, because is Argo its own municipality?
Argo is its own municipality. So we have a Trustful mailing address. We're Springville Schools. And but yeah, we're City of Argo.
So City of Argo, I'm assuming a lot of collaboration with the city had to go on.
Yes, especially we actually annexed into the city. That was part of the due diligence, and then immediately when we closed, that was one of the first steps, was going before the city council to annex in, because we wanted to be in the city to work along with them to help with the railroad crossing and anything else we needed. We also wanted to be able to provide fire protection and E911 services for the neighborhood without any kind of conflict. And so we wanted to be in the city rather than unincorporated county.
And that's what it was. It was county.
That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
it was unincorporated St. Clair County.
Okay, so we're kind of building this little kind of checklist of things, but at this point, we're looking at utilities. We're acquiring the land. I mean, this is not inexpensive. I mean, there's already like a lot of money that's being invested before you ever break ground on the very first property.
Absolutely.
So kind of take me through, first of all, how many years are we into this? Where are we at? Because we've done how many completed houses so far and how many more to go?
Yeah, so we've done 6 closed of the 56. We have about 10 more in various stages of planning or construction, like what you see right now. So yeah, we have 50 left to close.
Over what period of time?
Yeah, so we started developing right at just over 2 years ago.
So is that when you acquired the land? When did you close on the land?
We closed on the land the very beginning of 22.
22.
Yep.
So we're a little over 3 years just to get 6 houses closed.
Yep.
And I'm sure you already had that projected. You already knew that's how things were going to go. But that's a long stretch of time before you can kind of see maybe the fruits of the vision that you had many years ago. Just kind of take me through these past few years. Is it what you thought it would be? I'm sure there have been bumps along the road. Nothing is as smooth as you map it out to be. But is it pretty much what you envisioned it?
No, I mean, no. It was, it's always been challenging. I expected that. It was even more challenging than I expected. But I love what I'm doing. it's, I think God made me to do this. Doesn't mean I'm perfect at it, but I love what I'm doing. And yes, it's definitely been more challenging than I could have ever even imagined.
Where did you project you would be in 3 years?
I projected in 3 years we would be, halfway built out with a neighborhood probably.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so take me through some of the challenges over the past few years that maybe the timeline of things took a little bit longer than expected, or maybe some bumps in the road. Because I really want to emphasize the fact that you've never built houses before.
That's right.
Before this.
That's right.
You project managers on how you had real estate experience.
Yeah.
You had construction experience, but you had never been a home builder before.
That is correct.
And you basically partnered with you had a financial partner.
Yep.
Brought them in. You two worked very closely together to get to this point, to kind of see this vision through.
That's right.
And all the while, I know that you've told me in the past, you're being paid a salary.
Sure.
And then you're going to get, you got a portion of the equity on the back end.
That's right.
So that's a way that it's an incredible way to structure things with a financial partner to where you can get a piece of the pie. But now you're doing something for the first time you've never done before.
Yeah.
Kind of take me through, like I was asking, some of these challenges. You thought that the timeline might have been X, but it ended up being Y.
Yeah. So back to the construction experience, never did home building before, had project managed, did commercial construction, residential flips, remodels, you name it. Had done multi-million-dollar commercial projects. But even that is very different because there's a clear set of plans that an architect and engineers have worked on. Home building is much more of a moving target, if you will, many times, field decisions involved. And so it's definitely different, and that led to a lot of challenges to kind of get up to speed on that. I would say the utilities was probably one of the biggest things that took much longer than what we had anticipated to bring them in from Highway 11, and especially across the railroad tracks. The railroad adds easily, a year to any kind of permitting process or anything. So easy, a year.
Did you know that ahead of time?
No, I did not. And the interesting thing with the railroad is it's hard to find resources that really do know. You hear a lot of things, but the railroad since the 1800s has had a lot of protection from the federal government, and they provide a lot of things that we need and infrastructure and everything like that. So I get it, but they have their own police, and it just brought a whole unique set of challenges. We have not had any interactions with the police, but I just know they exist.
Right.
But yeah, the railroad is one of the big ones. I think soil conditions is another one. This property slopes from the back of the property to the very front, and so we had a lot of silt run off towards the front that had just built up over the years that was unforeseen. That added to some of our time and cost. So yeah.
And I'm sure when you go, because you've got this in phases, phase one, and you've got another phase that's going to go on the other side of the property.
Yep.
Is it going to be easier now that you've got kind of you've gone under the railroad tracks, the utilities, you've done a lot of the soil work, the dirt work and things.
Yeah.
I feel like now, or it seems like to me, I don't know, I've never built a house. It seems like now, or built a subdivision. It seems like now things can go a little bit smoother.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are now fully focused on just building. We are prepared this year to start developing phase 2, but we literally have all of our utilities ran right up to the line of where phase 2 starts, ready to tap into. All of our utility suppliers are prepared, knowing about phase 2. So yeah, we feel like it will be much more streamlined. So
you were telling me a story, and we've talked many times about this property because Brandon's in our mastermind group, by the way. I want to make sure I throw that out there. Brandon's a part of our small group. So if you're not in our small group, you want to be in our local small groups here in Central Alabama, just shoot me a message, let me know. So we've talked about this property a lot. There's a lot of awesome things going on. Obviously some challenges with anything this big, for sure. So take me through, I remember you telling me the story about when you're first kind of breaking ground, first getting in here, that someone approached you and wanted to make the first purchase, and you hadn't even really, had you gotten the utilities even at that point?
No.
Didn't even have the utilities, but it's hard to turn down that kind of money right out the gate. So I think you were telling me a story where the home they wanted, or the lot they wanted, was pretty far away from where the utilities were coming in. So you guys had to like run the utility. So talk about like maybe the good and maybe the challenges of having someone come in right away and pre-purchase a home.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously it's exciting. It's also very beneficial from the standpoint of just comps and establishing the neighborhood to have a buyer come forward like that. But yeah, we had a cash buyer when it was still mainly just pasture land, and we had a vision and we had presented that, and they bought in early on. And so we built the framed and got it basically to this stage of this home right now,
which we're going to take a walk through here in a second.
We got it to this point though using generators and water tanks, and we used water tanks and air to pressure test our lines and everything for plumbing, and so yeah, we got it as far as we could without utilities, like I said, just using generators and water tanks. And the idea is that we would bring the utilities in at the same time that we were building. Those didn't match up because of some of the delays with the utilities. But yeah, it can be a great thing. If I had it to do over again, I would probably put a pause on that and spend a little bit more time on the planning of the home and not necessarily construction, and just get the utilities in place. But I'm thankful for what I learned as a part of that process anyway. So.
It's almost like at this point, you've learned so much over 3 years that you're almost like ready to like the next one, which I know it's going to be a couple of years down the road because you still got a lot to go here. Yeah. But like the next one, it's like, oh man, the next one's going to be a breeze because we've already learned. Like it. Yeah. We've learned so much. Well, Brandon, you mind giving us a little tour of this one?
So, yeah, this is pretty typical of a home. Most of our homes are in the 2,500 square foot range, and this one falls in that category. 2-car garages. Sometimes buyer will add on a 3rd car garage.
So when you say a buyer will add on, that's just a part of the kind of the semi-custom that you.
Yeah, they have that option to. We sit down, work closely on the floor plan with them on many of these custom ones. But yeah, I like to take you through and show the inside. So we definitely like to maximize space. So we'll put anything under stairs or whatever we try to utilize and allow access to. We also this is just a couple right now, but they have plans for their family. So this is right now a storage area with a door at the bottom. They can future finish it for bedrooms or whatever for a growing family. So we like thinking through that. Mm-hmm. We love big pantries, so you can see the kitchen pantry right by.
Well, I can't really see it because it's not because I don't have that kind of vision. Where are we standing right now?
So right now you're kind of in a mud entry room.
Okay.
Drop zone.
Where is the kitchen?
The kitchen's over here.
So you're giving us a pantry. I don't even.
Sorry.
Because I'm not. I haven't done this.
Here's the kitchen. So
here's the kitchen.
Dining room over here. And this would be the countertop and cabinetry. This is our kitchen sink, if you will, right here. And so these windows crank out, so we're excited about this. Another thing that we do.
Well, the pantry.
Yeah, the pantry's on the back side of the kitchen wall there.
You were showing us would be in here. So that's a pretty large pantry.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Got it now. Okay.
So dining room to the front there. Kitchens, we always do large islands in those. So we already have the electrical ran for that. Sometimes we'll put sinks in those islands. This one's again over here at the back wall, looking out at the backyard. Now one feature that we love to do in our homes is vaulted ceilings. Capture as much natural light as we can, and so this is really typical for us, a vaulted ceiling with a centered fireplace. And we also opened up some dormers for natural light that you can see overhead into the space. This back door will have a 12-foot slider door on it. Mm-hmm. And we do It has a fireplace on the back porch.
Okay. So I'm got the camera facing the front of the house.
Yeah.
So right here, this would be the back, and this is where the slider is going to be, and then here's the back porch.
Yep. And we do a lot of European pine tongue and groove ceilings. They're not up yet, and then we do these big 8x8 cypress posts. So we love that look. Now this house has already had an electrical and cabinet walk. We do that with the client and walk through and identify anywhere where they want additional plugs. For example, this one actually has a plug in the ceiling with a switch on the inside so that they can run string lights or whatever they want, Christmas lights later on, and have it on a switch. This one also is already pre-plumbed for an outdoor kitchen. So we try to think through all those details. We feel like that's something that we really strive to provide our clients. So.
Yeah, perfect. And so outside here is one of the, I would imagine probably not, but I'm curious to know, is one of the potential custom things a swimming pool?
We do have some buyers that are wanting a swimming pool. We will have a community swimming pool behind our clubhouse. But we've already had at least 2 buyers I know that are wanting to add a small pool behind there. So we don't do pool installation or anything, but we definitely try to take that into account when we're laying out the home and also the backyard.
Yeah. So. Just in case.
Yeah, absolutely. Now this fireplace is actually a wood burning fireplace outside. That's what they opted for. Inside is a ventless gas logs, which is more typical for us. But we do have some buyers that love the wood burning, so
gotcha.
Glad to be able to offer that.
All right.
Back to the front of the home here, this is actually an office that will have barn doors here, a double set of barn doors for a home office. And then this wing of the home has 3 bedrooms and a bathroom.
Okay. So this is like a Jack and Jill bathroom over here.
That's right.
Okay, so we got a bedroom, we've got a bathroom, and then we've got the second bedroom, and then the master's
on the other side.
It's going to be over here on the other side.
It's actually on the other side of the home.
Oh, it's on the other side of the home. Oh, yeah. So what's over here?
Yeah, that is something. This is another bedroom.
Oh, so there's 3 bedrooms over here?
3 bedrooms over here.
Oh, wow.
2 baths.
Okay, gotcha.
We do usually try to separate our master and kind of do a true master suite or wing. So that's something else that we really enjoy doing.
Let's go look at the master.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you said upstairs. Well, over here is just attic.
That's right.
Looks like.
Yeah.
But on the other side where you're showing me, there's an opportunity for them to build maybe another bonus room or a bedroom.
Absolutely.
But that's not something you are going to do.
That's correct.
Unless they add on.
That is correct. Yes, absolutely. But one thing we've thought through is putting this door at the bottom. That way it's unfinished from there up. And so saves a little bit of money for the client and allows them the future opportunity to gain what they would like.
Sure. So. Okay, so yeah, we were over here a second ago and I didn't even
it's a little hidden wing, but
so this is, you said 2,500?
Yeah.
And that's all on the bottom.
That's right.
That's not including the top. Okay.
It's a very, very efficient layout though, I think. Very good use of the square footage. Powder room here, just a little half bath.
Okay.
And then the laundry. And we do all gas. We have a gas program with Trustful Gas and Water, so we do all gas fixtures, water heater, furnace, all that, in all our homes here. So this is the master with a nice vaulted ceiling. It's not something we do on every one of them, but this is something they wanted, and I'm excited to see this one come together. So yeah, lots of natural light. So yeah, step inside the bathroom, the master. This is Pretty typical for a master bathroom on ours. Shower, a freestanding tub, always double vanities, and then a toilet room. We have the closet, master closet on the other side. And yeah, we do, on our showers, we do all tile, surround, and then full glass. Usually we'll set them in a corner and do frameless glass around it.
So what phase of a home, because I'm not a home builder. So what phase are we in right now, and what's next for this house? Because I see all the sheetrock lying around.
Yep. So this one's ready for sheetrock. We've done electrical, plumbing, HVAC, and once all that stuff has been inspected, next step is get it insulated and drywall hung. So we're at that point where we're just wanting to make sure that everything that's in the walls has been taken care of before we actually start putting up that drywall. But that should be happening any day now. And so yeah.
And you've got how many going on right now?
Right now we have 10 at various stages. We have 4 actually actively under construction. The others are in various stages of design or getting footings going and all that stuff. So
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of exciting, right? At this point, you're actually seeing, this vision you had many years ago, and you're actually seeing these things pop up. I know you're in it day to day, and you probably don't think about it like that.
Sure.
But just, all the conversations we've had over the past, 6 months to a year, this is the first time I've ever come out and visited the property. It's for me, it's kind of exciting for you. Just to kind of see these things like come together. When I first pulled up, I'm seeing, there's 6 finished, and you can kind of see somebody with a basketball court over here, or a basketball goal out in front of you. So there's these are actually like homes for people. It's like, man, I'm like excited for you.
Yeah.
And again, I know you're in the day to day. You probably don't think of it in those terms, but it's kind of exciting, isn't it?
I try occasionally. I will try to remove myself as I drive onto the property and just see it, because I saw it as it started and see it to now, and it is super exciting to see and know that families are living here and making memories, and a lot more of that to come. So,
yeah. Well, so just kind of wrap things up. I mean, I really think that for folks, I don't know that a brand new person needs to go out there and start building houses or building subdivisions. But I don't know that you were brand new. You had a construction background. But for someone who has like kind of big ideas and big vision and big dreams, to go out and get that experience, and then to kind of develop a relationship with someone who can kind of fund the thing, and then you go in and structure a deal where you're going to get a big piece of equity plus a salary as you kind of go along. I feel like, is there anything kind of looking back on how you kind of set this whole thing up, or how the two of you set this thing up? Is there anything that like you wish you would have done a little bit differently, or anything that maybe you felt like you laid it out perfectly, or any advice that you could give to someone who might be in a situation like yours?
Yeah, looking back, I obviously things did not go perfectly, but I wouldn't change anything. But I would say that if you're interested in doing something like this, first need to make sure that you are you enjoy construction and being around it, because you will end up eating, sleeping, and breathing it. And so you can do that by visiting a job site. You can always visit here at Grant Crossing, reach out to me and check it out. There's plenty of other great builders as well. And look at a job as a superintendent or a project manager and see if it's something that fits for you. That's a great place to start. That's where I did. I started back in 2007 in construction management and estimating. And I want, the big thing with construction is you don't just have to be a builder. There's so many opportunities now with technology to get involved with construction, depending on your personality and what you like. And now they're making strides in AI and 3D modeling, and so there's a lot of opportunities. But yeah, I would say that. And one thing that I wanted to say to Brian about this, and I've said this to Brian myself before, but it's a good reminder for me as well as to anyone else listening that I don't remember the date now, but years ago, Brian put on, I didn't know Brian, and he put on an event in Trussville at a hotel to kind of present the RIA stuff. And I had flipped houses. I didn't know that much about the acquisition side, but at that time I got to see Brian speak and invested a little bit of money. Couldn't do as much as I wanted to, but I invested a little bit, and that's really what got me started was Brian Tripp. And he didn't even realize it because I was just taking a ton of notes and really tried to follow through with it. And that's I started flipping on my own more actively, and then grew into this. And I definitely haven't arrived. I need a lot more direction and help, and I always want to be learning. But I'm just so thankful to Brian for what he has done and what he brings to the real estate community here locally, and I'm sure elsewhere too. But really changed the direction and course of my life when it comes to real estate.
Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate you saying that. And I just think it's really important for someone, and it ended up being me, but for someone to kind of guide and direct folks. I mean, I don't have all the answers and I don't have all the experience, but I try to surround myself with people who do. Yeah. And that's what the Alabama Real Estate Investor Group, I mean, that's what we're all about, is trying to just provide resources. Yeah. And trying to provide, this right here, just content right here, just hanging out with somebody like Brandon, who's out here actually doing it, who's touchable. He's somebody you could, I'm sure he wouldn't have any problem. You came over here to Grant Crossing in Central Alabama. It's an Argo, right? Yeah. Come out here and just pop in. I don't know if you want to pop in, but come in and just say hi to him and ask him for some advice. Like, this is what these kind of groups are all about. And then when you start getting into a smaller group, like Brandon's decided to, be a part of our Board of Advisors Mastermind group. I'd love for you to just kind of say a couple words about that, because I know you've been to about 4 or 5 of those meetings, and you're a faithful attendee, which is huge. You got to show up. Most do, some don't, but you got to show up, and you're showing up. You contribute, but you also get a lot out of it. Yeah. I'd love for you to kind of share a second about that.
Yeah, I've gained so much value from it. Really practical stuff where I've come in there. And many times, when you do take the step from just flipping a house to trying to scale, there's so many challenges, and you're not sure who to turn to, who to talk to, not sure who you can trust or maybe will advise you correctly. And so it's been great for me to be able to go there and bounce ideas off and hear, and Brian's really great at kind of playing devil's advocate, and he'll say that. And so it forces me to kind of think and open my mind. And I've had multiple specific instances where that's been the case for me with our meetings. And we had one, I won't go into detail, but literally the next day I was able to put in to use practical advice from a meeting, and it had huge results for me that are still paying today.
And I just think that you can't really get that if you're not in a smaller group of people. It doesn't really necessarily have to be with us, but you've got to be around smaller groups where folks are talking about business, they're asking you the tough questions. You say playing devil's advocate. Like, I'm a contrarian by nature, but I think it's a good thing, because I want to see all sides to everything. Yeah. I want to see everything looks great here, but did you think about this? Okay, you did. Okay, great. Oh, you didn't. Okay, well, let's explore that. So I just want to make sure that we're making a tough decision, that we've got kind of all the options at our disposal. Yeah. So
I would say that was probably the most eye-opening thing in the mastermind. And, you get out of it what you put into it, but just people being very real and opening up about their challenges, the good, the bad, and then hearing other people share the same. And that's how you grow, I think, both just grow yourself and grow in real estate, I think, is with that group.
Brandon, thank you for bringing us out here and giving us a tour. It's really incredible. We'll have to come back here in maybe 6 months to a year and get maybe a little bit of an update.
That'd be great.
But super proud of you. Just going back all those years where I first met you, and I know we were even in a church small group where I was leading something where we were reading a lot of great books. Yeah. So I've known you for a long time. Just to see what you're doing, it's really impressive. It's really incredible, and I'm proud of you.
Feel very blessed. Thank you, Brian.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. Reach out to Brandon. I'm going to put some of his contact information in the descriptions. Reach out to him if you have questions about home building or building a subdivision. It's pretty vast. I tried to cover as much as I could in the time that we had, but make sure you reach out to him. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks.
All right, man.